Hello, everyone. How are you? Jeremy, give me a yes, you can hear me if you can hear me. Samir, give me a yes, you can hear me. Mateen Meltzer, give me a yes, you can hear me. Toby, let's grab you, man. I've been waiting to say hi to you. Let's see here. Good morning, everyone. Jumping on, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, we got questions, put them up there for me. We got training this Friday, 11 a.m. Hey, Toby,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Very, very well. Thank you so much for reaching out. I'm glad I could get you here in the morning. Where are you calling from?
England.
England. Nice. And how's
Yeah,
everything over there?
it's all right. How about you?
I'm doing really well. It's much better now that I'm talking to you. What question do you have for me?
My main question for you is, if you could restart all again, let's just say 18 years old, what would you do differently?
That's a great question. You know, what I would do differently is the same thing I focus on today. So I always joke around whether it's 18, 28, 38, 48. The thing that I would do differently is I would ask for help. Especially when I was 18, most of the people out there want to help you. And it's so humbling to think that, wow, I see it all the time within my own office. I have an open door policy, and 90% of the time, my door's open and people are too afraid to come in. They're too afraid to learn, too afraid to ask for help. The people, as you grow and expand and learn, the people around you want to help you. And so the more that you get in the habit of asking them, do you know anyone that can help me? Um, it can be a really soft and be very specific. So I would have changed one thing. I didn't ask for hardly any help, and I pretended as if I knew everything, and I didn't understand. I didn't know what I didn't know, and so still today at 52 years old, I lie to myself all the time that I think I know what I'm talking about. Uh, I
Mm.
was with a guy named Deepak Chopra yesterday, and I asked him, and his son, by the way, and I asked what their best piece of advice, and it came from the Xander's rule number 6: don't take yourself so seriously. So if you don't take yourself so seriously and you do your best, you pursue your potential, and you allow others to help you, you'll get there a lot faster. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, I have.
Awesome. Go ahead,
Can I ask you one more thing?
please.
How do you stay motivated after failure?
Yeah, so I see a difference between motivation and inspiration. So I would say that after I have a failure, a lesson, a mistake, all of the different things that I do, which happen all the time, by the way, Toby, um,
Yeah,
I go ahead and I have to get motivated to get started again. But I'm on a inspiration continuum. What do I mean by that? That I think that inspiration is what allows me to get everywhere that I'm going. Inspiration is just the recognition that I'm always connected to everything, not only all the people, places, and things that exist in my vision and in my touch and my taste and my smell, but also I'm connected to what I can't see and at all times. And what I can't see is what I know to be light and love and lessons and learning and all this power that they can measure in your own body. They can measure how much power you have. And so what inspires me is that connection to everything. But what motivates me is the understanding that if I can look up, I can get up. That I'm living in a try me world, that the 1% that are get going when the tough gets going, and the 1% when it's tougher, right? 99% of the people are going to quit. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential, not voting for what other people want. So I first separate motivation and inspiration. I trust the inspiration of oneness, that I'm connected to the great and powerful sources of energy, light, love, and
mm,
lessons. And then when I make mistakes, when I feel down, I try to correct that as quickly as possible through motivation, by having the right mindset, the right feelings, saying the right things, hearing the right things, and doing the right things. Okay?
yeah,
Awesome, my friend. You keep in touch with me. I really appreciate you reaching out, and we'll see you soon, okay?
yeah. Thank you so much.
You got it, Toby. I love your hair, man. Can you give me some advice?
Uh,
It's looking good.
Thank you.
You got it. Take care.
Have a good day.
You too. Hey, that's what we're here for right there. That's what's going to make this universe happen. Our future is relying upon great people like Toby, and super excited to have him on. And so thank you, Toby, for joining us. Don't forget, everyone, we got free training on Friday for everybody, even the kids. And it's going to be on my favorite topic, 5 to Thrive. Oops, Jake, I didn't mean to join you there. Sorry, I meant to pin my number. Hey, Jake, thank you for joining. Let me get me back again. Fat Finger Dave Meltzer. All right. Anyway, thank you, Michael, for joining as well. Toby, thank you. Looking good, everybody. Let's see who and what. We'll take one question and then we'll go live again. Please keep the questions coming. This is how we learn. I'm so obsessed with making money and caring for my family. I'm worried that once we're financially stable, I'll slow down, I assume. So, first of all, those are great things to be excited about, to be inspired for and through. And I do not drink coffee in the morning, by the way. Uh, but more importantly, let me get back to the question. ADD, you gotta love Dave Meltzer. Here we go. Let me get back on there. I apologize. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Let me get that question here. Back up. Up. I'm obsessed with making money and caring for family. Okay. So those are great things to be obsessed about. The only thing that you have to do before that is be obsessed about taking care of yourself so you can take care of your family and make a lot of money and help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. So I've made that shift in my paradigm that I can't give what I don't have and that everything comes through me for others. So please stay obsessed and learn to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of that potential of how much you can do for yourself, financially, emotionally, spiritually, to give through you for others to help them as well. Just like my friend Evan Carmichael at Evan Carmichael, one of the great YouTube people out there, Instagram people, and just all around great guy. And always appreciate his unconditional giving, not only to others, but to Dave Meltzer. He's a good friend and always helping me and giving me advice, giving me situational knowledge. He's a person who sits in the position that I want to be in. So thank you. Much love, my man. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's see. I got another questions coming in here. Still the same question. Go ahead. Let me know. Friday free training for everyone is 5 to Thrive training. So how to thrive in business and finances and selling. It's originated in a 5 to Thrive selling tool that has moved to everything in your personal, professional life you can do. Tojek, good to see you, my friend. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's see who wants to go live here. I'm going to grab as we're waiting and see who's there just real quick. This person has reached out a few times, the motivational pug. We're with the ferocious Buddha. What's up, brother?
Mr. Meltzer.
How are
Hi.
you? How old are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you.
How old are you?
How are you?
Good.
I'm 17.
17. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Croatia.
Oh, wow, I love Croatia. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Very
okay,
good.
so I DM'd you already about having me on your podcast. So
Yes.
would you be interested?
Being on your podcast or you being on
No, well, me on your.
you want to come on mine? Yeah, why don't you come? We'll set it up. We can do, I'm recording on the LinkedIn Lives at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Is that too late for you?
Oh no, I mean, I would come on when the book is out, so I can promote it.
All right, man. Sounds good. You had a quick question for me, or tell me about what the question from the book that I can answer and give you some feedback?
No, I have another question. You lost 100 million, right?
Say again?
You lost $100 million, right?
Over $100 million on paper, yeah. Property.
How did you come back? Why didn't you quit?
Why didn't I quit? Because 2 years previous is when I hit rock bottom, when I made a decision to take stock in who I was and live by who I was. And that came out to be, I was going to live a gracious life with gratitude as my mindset. I was going to live a forgiving life, not only forgiving others, but forgiving myself and learning that life is just about lessons. And I'm here just to learn those lessons, and I'm going to forget all the lessons, but I have the ability to remember or access those lessons. And then most importantly, too, I was going to be accountable. What excited me was I was going to take full accountability when everyone else around me was in blame, shame, and justification. You're 17 years old, and I have an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old, and them and their friends, they go below the line daily. And I'm trying to teach accountability. So I think accountability keeps people driven and inspiration. And then finally, understanding, practicing ending fear. There's so much to be afraid of. And if we make it a practice at a very young age to know what we're afraid of, and what happens is because of the fear, we develop a need to be right. We develop a need to be separate from other people, a need either to be inferior or a need to be superior to them. And then we also need to be angry and anxious, frustrated, guilty, resentful. All of these needs stem from a practice of ending fear. And imagine, even though you're only 17, imagine how much of your life you've wasted. The emotional waste, the resource waste, the money waste, with all of these needs that you can get rid of at a very young age by practicing ending fear. And so if you take in gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration, that practice of ending fear, you will have productivity, accessibility, and happiness in your life. And hopefully, I appreciate you when you finish the book and you come on, then you can be one of my 1,000 people to help me empower 1 billion people on earth, over 1 billion people, to be happy. Can you help me do that?
I think I can.
I know you can. Thank you. Keep coming on, okay? Let me know how the book's going, and if you need help, all you got to do is ask, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. The motivational pug. I love that. We got Croatia, we got London, we got kids from all over. Junior Lopez, number 87 in the house. Practice ending fear. That's right. Join me on Friday and learn how to thrive. We're going to have the 5 to Thrive program going. Who else is joining me today? Love the questions. Love everybody. Taylor, thanks for joining as well. Thank you so much. Why you don't drink coffee? What do you usually drink during the day? Water. Andy Dane Carter was on here, and I loved how simply he gives advice. He says, look, you want to change your life? He said, drink a gallon of water and sleep 8 hours. Talk about great, easy advice. Forget the Deepak Chopra, Dave Meltzer interview. We're in a high level of vibration talking about existence and time and potential. Just drink a gallon of water and sleep 8 hours. If you want to add one more thing, then go ahead and say thank you before you go to bed and when you wake up. I'm going to grab Katie Austin here and talk about apples not falling far from the tree. This is a wonderful person. And I'm just honored she's here.
Hi, how are you?
Hello. I am amazing. How are you?
Good. Good morning. What's
Good.
up? I literally just woke up, not gonna lie.
That's what I love about this is like they never let me do these virtually, and now I get to see everybody in their real deal. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, everyone gets to see me that way as well.
Well, so gets too, and hopefully you're gonna motivate me to go work hard the rest of the day.
Yeah, well, I want you to work happy the rest of the day, which will make you a lot more productive than working hard. And so, as
Yes,
you
and
probably know,
I'm not gonna lie, I do work happy almost every day. I feel like I love my job so much that I wake up so excited to work. Like I really woke up this morning so excited to create content.
I'm with you, and only because of the aspect of how many people that it really helps. And to that matter, though, people look at us and they're like, "Oh my God, they glow. They love what they do. I wish, it's just so natural and easy." Can you explain the one thing I want to help people with is how do you learn to love the things that aren't naturally things we love to do? Like it sounds
Uh,
really cool that we wake up and I'm so excited to build content, but there's a lot of pieces of what we do during the day, and we do some similar stuff that most people wouldn't love to do, but we take on the perspective of learning to love it, and then we get like even more excited and more motivated and inspired.
For sure. Well, I think for me, something that I learned that I hated before and now I actually love is like editing my videos. So when I first started, I liked just being in front of the camera and and just being like the talent. And now I edit all my videos. And I think something that kind of made me love it is realizing the finished product in the end, if that makes sense. So it's like once you see your work, and it's worth so much more because you put that hard work into it. And so knowing that worth of the project at the end just like kind of makes the value go up in my mind.
That's awesome. Can I ask you a pragmatic question?
Yeah.
Because so many people ask me this. So when you started in front of the camera and started saying, maybe I could do this, what were the steps that you took in order to figure out how to edit your own videos?
Well, I got really lucky because I actually went to USC and they had editing classes. And so I took a Premiere class in college. But there's so many tools like online that you guys can, go and figure it out for yourself. And I feel like now is the perfect time to kind of get into those smaller side hustles that people might have, like especially during quarantine, and really, really find that passion, whatever that might be, and kind of create around your passion. I think that's my biggest tip for someone who's just starting out is like that you can start a business around your passion. I feel like you would totally agree with me on that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you
Yeah.
can enhance that passion is another lesson in there as well. Um, Now, building an audience is a whole nother thing, especially when you're younger. People get more impatient about building that audience, and it's frustrating to me because I am like so set in my ways about this audience is always growing. The tools are getting easier to use. I mean, I'm old, so, and you can ask your mom and dad, who I'm friends with, by the way, like especially your dad, I know. You can ask them how much camera power that phone that you're sitting in front
I
of
know.
has. Like,
I know.
and so if kids are out there, if you're under 25 or under 30 even, I'm 52. Like, I don't think they can imagine what 22 years can bring of
By
an
the way, you're still
audience.
young. You're still really
Oh,
young.
yeah, I got 60 more years at least. I keep telling my
Yeah.
kids I'm hanging out for don't when I die, if there's anything left, I've made a math mistake. My kids are in trouble in the inheritance because I'm living a long time. Uh, but moreover, like you have, it seems to me like this really beautiful perspective about growing and accelerating that's beyond
Yeah.
attaching your identity to like how many followers Katie Austin has. And
Right.
because the audience is what's so important. If you can attach to the audience, you can help people and make money at the same time for your whole life.
For sure. Well, I think first off, there's so many different social media platforms for everyone out there now. So if you don't think that you're growing fast enough on Instagram, try TikTok, because TikTok you can grow really fast, and you don't have to be at the same point like of so many social media platforms. You don't have to be on every single one. I think a main thing for me is like focusing, like right now my focus is really growing on TikTok because I love quick 15-20 second videos. I'm better at doing them actually than I'm better at YouTube. So I know my strengths in social media and I know my weaknesses, and I think that's a huge thing to figure out. Another thing is finding a niche brand. So for me, mine's like silly dance workouty, kind of sporty, because I'm an athlete, but like, find that brand, whatever is unique to yourself, and just go for it. So I would say be consistent with your brand is key. And don't get caught up in the followers at all.
Yeah, consistent quality content, I keep telling people. And, be yourself. It's funny because I don't edit my own stuff. And, we have a lot of content, obviously, in a bigger team, and it keeps on growing. But the funny thing is, I love meeting people like you, because when I got to go like Mike Stud or, some of the cooler people that I know like you, it's fun to meet because they get an image of the brand as being kind of Uncle David, the teacher, a little bit higher in vibration, and someone that can help. But then like I'll get there and do Jaeger Pong or something, and they're like, "Oh my God, Dave Meltzer's kind of cool. He's not a dork." And so that's the only thing that, like, when you're consistent with your brand, that I
Yes.
can see. And I grew brands for traditional athletes like your dad, and and they would tell me like, yeah, I can't do that because it's off brand. And we didn't have as many cameras back then, but they would always say it's off brand, Dave. I
Right.
don't want to be seen doing that. I'm like, now I'm stuck in the same situation. I can't even be cool anymore. So that's why I
Yeah.
like TikTok, because it's allowing me to at least to put some fun things out there, like a little bit. And then my daughter, who's goes to IU and she's 18, she started these office videos because I in the closet. I built a studio,
Oh
and
my
it's like
gosh,
I
I
should
have to
get,
see
and
that.
so you got to see them. And she just does it right on her phone. She edits it herself, and
It's so fast. It's
it's
like,
the best videos. I hate my guys are gonna kill me because I love my guys and they do a great job, and girls. But my daughter's videos, maybe I'm biased. You gotta check them out for me, but I think they're really good. It's like In the Closet. We've done two
I'll check them
episodes so
out.
far.
I want to check them out.
um,
That's funny.
and so, combining the fun with the monetization side, who's helping you, or what aspects of monetizing the content that you have, right? Like, I'm truly at heart an entrepreneur and a business person, and I
Yeah,
believe, like, I
yeah.
I, I get TikTok, and I have friends who have millions of views and whatever they do, but I keep asking, like, hey, are you going to make a living at this, or are you just having fun? And there's two. I'm fine with having fun, but this is a business as well for you.
For
So
sure.
what's some
Yeah.
strategies that you're using?
So to be honest, I have really worked for myself, myself, and I for what, 6 years now. And I realized that to grow, you need to ask for help. And so, unlike you, I'm not good at the marketing side. I'm not good at, like the monetization side as much. And so, I'm like looking to hire someone to help me with all that, because I realized that I need to kind of let go a little bit of my business, if that makes sense. I'm so passionate, and it's like my fitness business, my app, it's all my baby. So it's like I feel very protective over it, and I feel like no one else can, control it the way I do. But I think the first thing is I need to listen to my own advice and ask for help. And it's okay to ask for help. If you have a team to edit your videos, and that's okay, because you can realize you can exponentially, get to the next level. But a way to monetize it, first off, with brand deals, always do brand deals that ring true and to your brand, and then that are very authentic to what you would already have in your daily day-to-day life. And so, like for me, when I get a brand deal, I just got a brand deal yesterday, and they're like, we'll offer you 10K. It was a very high number for an Instagram post, but to be honest, it was like, I don't feel like this is a part of my brand. It was like, one of those metabolism boosting type thing. And I'm like, to be honest, like, yeah, it's great money, but I'm not a sellout. Like, if you look at my page, I don't do that many sponsored things. And when I do, that is a form of income for me, but it also means I really, really believe in the product, And so I always have to try it first. I have to really believe it. I have to use it. And I think that's something that, other creators out there, if you are getting brand deals right away, just know to take it day by day. Like my dad always says, like longevity in your career is key. It's not for those small little brand deals. And just to encourage anyone out there, I didn't make money off my Instagram or social media for 2 full years. I had over 100K, and I didn't make a penny. So it's not always about monetization at the end with social media, but yeah, you should
Yeah,
find me later, but
yeah, exactly. And I think you just nailed it, right? You explained that you waited to, because I don't sell anything. I get offered stuff all the time, and I'm in the long, even with my books, I give my books for free. I pay for shipping, and people are like, "What are you doing?" And ironically, in last year, I gave more books away than ever. I think over 20,000 books total gave away, and sold 5 times more that year than any other year without ever asking someone to buy one, right?
wow.
Because I believe you build a void for the universe to fill.
Yeah.
And a lot of times now, because your parents are involved in kind of synergistic businesses, and parents love to get involved in too much time. And I always say, just because someone loves you doesn't mean they give you good advice. And I even tell my kids that, you want to ask for my advice, just because I love you doesn't mean it's good. So
Yeah.
check with somebody else, and don't vote. I'm probably one of the only parents that tell their kids, don't vote for what I want. Like, vote for what you want.
I love that. I love that.
Listen to what I say. If treat it like a handful of sand. Please tell me that you appreciate me, that I care. But I'm fine with you throwing my advice to the
I
wind
love that.
and vote for what you want. And so, do you have that relationship with your parents? Because I assume they have a wealth of knowledge, and being a kid in a family like ours and yours, it's like this: do I ask my dad for help? Do I ask my mom for help? Or
Yeah.
when they give me help, should I be resentful and say, like, hey, I know what I'm doing? What's that relationship like?
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, so my mom had her own TV show for 26 years, and my dad is an agent. And so my dad really was her lawyer, her agent, and everything. And so my dad understands the fitness business legally and marketing side. And then my mom is the talent. And so she did fitness videos for, she's going on year 40 in the fitness industry. So for me, just entering the fitness industry, being in my 20s and having parents who kind of been there throughout the years and seen every wave of it, it is amazing. I'm so grateful to have parents who understand it. And so I would have to say I always take advice from my dad. My dad is literally the most level-headed, logical person. And he has gotten me out of like situations where I'm like, oh, I really want to work with this guy. I really want to work with her because she's really cool. And he's like, okay, these people are trying to screw you over, Katie. Like, don't be stupid. And so I feel like my dad is really on point with like, legal and all that stuff. And so I always go to him. But my mom is like the inspiration of like dreaming really big. I'm a lot more logical, like my father, if that makes sense. Like she dreams very, very big, which is awesome. But at the same time, it's like, I have to know realistic goals. And I think that's important to note for anyone out there. It's like, it is awesome to have really, really big goals and really big dreams, but start thinking smaller as well, because you never want to let yourself down. You never want to, set goals that are way too out of your league, because I'm sure dreaming big, obviously, like we both do, but make sure you have smaller set goals as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and in fact, I'll give you a little piece of advice. You could throw it away if you want. Don't vote for what you want. But I'm very much like you. My dad was like super huge dreamer, and my mom, being a teacher, conservative, stable, doctor, lawyer, failure. That's how I ended up going to law school. But I learned this process of segmentation, and in that. Oh, good. So dream. But segmentation will get you there because there's two factors in segmentation. One is start at the smallest level so you won't disappoint yourself, like you said. So if all I wanted was 2 followers a year, well, and I could get those 2 followers or I call them ambassadors, to get me 2 more ambassadors a year, how many segments would it take to get to my dream? Like this big, big super dream. Like for me, I want to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. And so I said, okay, if I could get 1,000 people in my lifetime to teach 1,000 people, to teach 1,000 people, 1,000 times 1,000 is a million times 1,000 is a billion. So I segmented out, okay, how many people a year? It's like 20 people a year over the next 60 years that I would have to get and gain. And so my objective becomes really small through segmentation. And then through segmentation, what if I get better and can speed it up? So it's not every year. It's the first year, it's a year, and then it's 11 months the next time, and then 10 months the next time, and 9 months. All of a sudden, that's how superstars like your mom are made. And that's why she can dream big. Now, she probably doesn't do it as practically as your father and I and you would do it, like do the math of segmentation. But like I've watched her career, she's allowed that to happen. And so people that are listening, you have years of wisdom that are probably born into you. I call it your quantum nature through your parents' genetics, but you have years of wisdom. Last thing real quick before I let you go. This is a time of uncertainty. You are known for great fitness and great positivity. Do you have a piece of advice or a lesson that you've learned during this period of time that you could share with everyone?
Oh man, a piece of advice I've learned. I think for me, I've learned how to slow down a little bit. I'm such a go, go, go person. And I have anxiety because I always look to the next thing. I'm always anticipating like what I'm even doing on a Friday night, what I'm doing next month, where am I traveling to for this work? And I always look at the next thing, even when I have an amazing opportunity and I, say I have a huge hosting gig, like I did the NBA awards this year. And then in my mind, I'm like, okay, dope. When's the next thing? The SBs are next. And I forget about it, And so I always look forward to the next thing. And it's really cool to be really present right now. You don't even know what's really going to happen tomorrow or next week, which I think is hard for my mindset, but it's a good thing to live so much in the moment,
That's great advice. You are well beyond your years, Katie Austin, and I certainly appreciate you and finally get to meet you. I can't wait till I meet you in person.
Nice to meet you. Thanks
Nice
for
to
having
meet you.
me.
Say hi to your dad for me too.
I will.
Take care.
And hi, Jake.
Hi, Jake. And Liv, I saw her on there. She loves
Yes,
you.
Liv. Hi. See,
I could I could tell Katie must be Liv's like best friend. You guys are so similar. Liv is on here. Thank you for joining me as well, and Jakey Bakey. My hopeful live one day and will be Bubby. Jakey Bakey has his Bubby, and I'm trying to get her live with me. I'm trying to reach out in case you know anyone in their 90s or hundreds. I'm trying to reach out to as many of them as I can and ask one simple question. What is the secret to life? I was with Deepak, like I said, and we were talking about existence and how this is forcing people to actually question their existence. For the first time, maybe we've taken for granted our existence, and maybe sitting at home for a little while will allow us to contemplate our existence and how we can prolong that existence and enjoy that existence and do all the things that may be aligned with that. So, Jakey Bakey, please give me the Bubby so I can ask Bubby some important questions. And if you have a Bubby that you want me to talk with, please have him come live with me at 8 a.m. on Instagram or uh, at 3 p.m. on LinkedIn Live. I'm collecting Bubby's wisdoms and whatever they call the male Bubbies, papas, I guess. Give me your papas, give me Bubbies. I'm asking one question. You can prepare them. You know, what is the secret to life? We all need to know the greatest situational knowledge about our existence. So let's gain those secrets while we have time. Please, I'm asking my audience, everyone out there, please get your Bubbies on here and your papas. All right. There he is, talking about the NBA awards. My favorite NBA boy and the future of the NBA, believe it or not. I see you, my friend. Unbelievable. The Ronnie 2K. I met this guy like a year ago in person, and he's just an extraordinary personality and energy in person. There he is.
What's up?
You got my color on, man. I heard that's my color.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
How are you, Dan?
someone told me that was this morning. I'm doing great, man. Well, your business must be thriving. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, it's crazy with the eyeballs on video games generally, but obviously people are missing basketball. You know, usually the playoffs would be starting off right about now, so we're trying to fill the void where we can. I mean, it's our responsibility for sure.
Yeah, and it is a great responsibility. But the cool thing is, you know, things happen. I'm sitting here and like there's a house next door to my house. And I'm like, that guy will never sell. You know, like he just
Yep.
rents it out, and boom, there's a for sale sign out. And I'm thinking, you know what? I literally said that would never sell like 3 weeks ago.
Well,
And
wait, why would it never sell? What's the
because the guy's it's a cash cow. The guy's owned it since
got
like
it?
1940s on the boardwalk. You know, like there's no reason to sell it, right? But something must have happened.
Yeah,
And and on the other side, I'm looking at your business, and in like one day, you have to really focus on being creative to get. It's like Zoom, right? You go from
yep,
10 million to 200 million.
yep,
I call this the great period of acceleration. Everything that's happening everything that's happening is just accelerated. Whatever happens to the economy, whatever happened to the things that are doing well, not doing well, it
yeah.
seems to me it's just accelerate. Like our education system, finance system, our mortgage system, all that stuff was going to happen. Some of it may have taken 2 decades to happen, but now it's like 2 weeks, and you're like, oh my God, 200 million people are doing Zoom meetings, and you have, you know, this incredible growth of people playing video games or even watching them more than they were watching the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be prepared for any circumstance like that. And we did see a responsibility to fill that void, both with, you know, new in-game content, but then new innovative marketing concepts, namely, you know, like what we did with the ESPN NBA 2K Players Tournament, which I'm sure we're going to talk about. But there's a lot that we can offer digitally. Our game is, you know, the platform for the next, and you know, all these fashion designers have been hitting us up and been, you know, like that's just an example, but fashion, music, they've both been hitting us up, which is outside of the realm of just the NBA, and being like, hey, how do we accelerate our product in your game? You know, let's get our clothing drops in the neighborhood, our digital open world. Let's get our music into the game in a new innovative way. Can we do like in-game concerts? Can we do, there's been a lot of ideation, and it's been centered around, you know, digital platform entities like us. And I just think that, to your example about Zoom, everybody's eyeballs are on these platforms, and it's very important, to fulfill that need for the consumer, just as in any business, but particularly with gaming and right now.
It's amazing because there's such great demand. It's like toilet paper, except for you can fix things quicker. So, literally, like there's such a demand, and that you stand also like a pragmatic business, supply and demand. And it's so funny because people just think, oh, well, this will be easy, to handle what's going on. And here you are going, not only
No, there's a lot of levers behind the scenes. That it's not easy. I wouldn't say it's easy for sure. I would say the responsibility makes us all have to grind. I mean, look, I think that it's underrated, and I have to always credit our development team. That's amazing. I mean, to be able to bring this much content, bring this much, in-game offerings, and us bring this level of entertainment was shot right behind me. This is where it was shot. That was something that none of us foresaw. It's also happening around, having families and pets and responsibilities, medical scares, all of that stuff, right? Like everybody's having to step up and do what they can to provide, some sort of entertainment where there's a massive lack. I mean, look, the NBA is usually the talk of the town come late April because we're going into the playoffs and stuff, and it sucks not having it. Like I think everybody is missing that just tune in programming every day on ESPN or ABC or whatever. So we feel a need and a desire to fill that gap wherever we can.
and you guys are, and I'm looking at comments, and it's so funny because, of course, when things are great, there's going to be negative comments. But like, take the Jordan, like better timing than the Jordan series that's coming out, right? Like, talk about a monopoly. Like, I can't wait to see the numbers. But working with those guys, you could see like people are even bitter because they're projecting how much they love basketball, and you guys are the only game in town as far as being able to combine this traditional, real characters and allow people to virtually feel an emotional attachment to their heroes, and like in some form of activity get to experience the movement, the game, the fans, the announcers, every single part of it. That's what makes, to me, NBA 2K so awesome. And what are you guys doing moving forward now to kind of utilize the time that the players have to get involved with the game?
I mean, there's never been a real stretch where the players have the capacity and time to get involved. And, a lot of these NBA players are picking up streaming themselves, playing video games, and not just ours, but just generally video games. And so we saw an opportunity we've always wanted to know who's the best 2K player in the NBA. I mean, I get asked that in pretty much every interview I do. And it's a tough one to ask because we do innovate every single year. The game is different every single year. And, I have my answers, but we've never really got to play it out outside of, I mean, probably the person closest to being able to answer that question is me. And I really had little idea because I get to see them at marketing campaigns and giving us feedback on the game and stuff. But to play this thing out on ESPN over the course of, it was 8 calendar days. Oh my God, it was crazy, man. Like I remember we decided to do it on March 24th. 8th, I believe, the finals had played out. So we had signed 16 players, got them a bunch of equipment that they weren't familiar with, weren't comfortable with, set up this IT, turned my bedroom from a live stream studio into a ESPN broadcast studio. You put all of this talent in place, booked celebrity interviews. It was crazy. And then, had these 16 players play, I think it was 17 matchups because a couple were best of 3. And all over the span of, we're talking about, 14 days? I mean, it was crazy. But again, responsibility and the opportunity to provide a ton of entertainment to fans who really need it in a world, where there's just really bad stuff going on. It's really sad the person that reached out to me right after the final, like the first person that called me was Karl Anthony Towns. It was right after the final had played out, and obviously his mom passed away the next day with COVID, which is extremely sad. But for him to, involve himself, and he was like, I wish I'd been able to participate. I was just worried that I'd have to run off and deal with family stuff. For all of these 16 players to participate, for all of the developers to put that on, for everybody that was involved in that, the NBA, the NBA Players Association, the ESPN, of course, it was just remarkable for it to come together like that. And, ESPN obviously has a burning desire to continue to entertain their fans as the worldwide leader. And that's why The Last Dance was moved up, and it's provided so much entertainment for fans. I really loved it on Sunday. I can't wait for the episode 3 and 4 this Sunday. Obviously, that was our era, right? Like watching Jordan. I mean, if you look at this right here on my wall.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody grew up on Jordan, and to watch that, be reminded. I mean, that's our generation. So I mean, I knew about Scotty's contract. I knew about a lot of the controversial things that happened in that time period. But man, to watch that all over again, it was really cool.
What can you share some of the numbers, the increase in numbers that you've had since kind of everyone's stuck in their houses, in the availability?
I mean, without being very specific, we are getting more users in our game than ever before, especially at this time period of the year. This is a pretty hot time for 2K every year because we've got a lot of content, whether it's my team or the neighborhood. There's a lot of content in there. We're continuing to push that. We're definitely doing what we can. Kobe, we celebrated his legacy last Monday by bringing him back to the game. Obviously, licensing around a passing of a player is complicated, so it was cool to have Kobe back involved. And then, the ESPN 2K Players Tournament was the most viewed ESPN esports program of all time. I mean, that is crazy. I always wonder, do people want to watch basketball gaming when they could just watch basketball, right? And I know that right now we are the substitute, but I feel like a story was told that people want to watch it regardless. And obviously gaming in general, but it was nice to see that they want to watch sports gaming too.
Yeah, because that's always been the question, right? Compared to the experiential thing like Fortnite or PUBG or these other things that people, League of Legends. I own part of Overactive Media, so I've been involved in esports for a long time. And early on, everyone thought that the team sports would be much more viewed than the League of Legends or, Halo or those. But I think they are catching up. Last question before I let you go. Being an entrepreneurial type of perspective, what's the biggest business challenge that you're facing and you see facing moving forward?
I really believe in the ideation in person in terms of you really kick around those ideas. And I mean, Zoom is a great replacement, but I feel like the discussion of innovation, especially in a area so where that's so necessary, like gaming, that just seems so important. We're all having one-off ideas, but I think that the brilliance of 2K is that we have a small but very innovative, very passionate team that comes together with ideas and then just does whatever it takes. I just mentioned how we brought the ESPN NBA 2K Players Tournament together. That was a small pack of people that just got their hands dirty and made it happen. I mean, that's sort of our mantra, to make it happen. I think that's tougher when you're not in person because, you need that kind of infectious enthusiasm. You need that interaction. I'm really extroverted, as you know, and I miss having those kind of interactions in person. And I feel like everybody does, we need other people. So I can't wait for this to be behind us, for business to open up, I don't know if life will ever get totally back to normal, but I feel like if we can get back to a place to assemble together and innovate together and talk together, I think that it's so funny that we're now grateful for that.
Yeah,
it's amazing what's happened. We're grateful for the human connection, and I can't wait for this thing to be behind us so we can get back to that.
I can't wait to that as well. I was getting used to seeing you every month or so,
I know
circling
I'd
in the
run
same
into you in
schools.
just random corners of the country. It was funny.
Yeah. Well, you're easy to find. Like short people like me, people walk by, but I can always find you. I really appreciate you taking the time, and congratulations on all your success. You deserve it, my friend. Anything I can do, let me know. And I look forward to seeing you in person very soon.
I appreciate the time. I always watch your IG live, so this is cool to participate.
Thanks for coming. We'll do it again. Thanks,
All
buddy.
right, take it easy,
Right on.
guys.
Take care. I'm a big fan of Ronnie 2K. So thank you, everybody. What a great guy. What a great business. If you're not learning about that business, you're making a mistake, right? It may be a while till we get mass gatherings and understanding the stage theory of sports, understanding how to capture the emotional aspects of motivation and inspiration in sports and modify it, amplify it to billions of people now, and perpetuate it. And so you're seeing that interaction that's there. So really appreciative of Ronnie. I will tell you one thing about this idea that I'm gonna let everyone go. We talk about getting back to normal. Look, pick and choose what you want to be normal, and pick and choose what you liked about before, and let's try to continue that, and then let's try to make everything else better. It's that simple. I'm going to leave you with that thought. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. But most importantly, join me Friday for free trainings. I know I get Ronnie and others. Hopefully, Katie will join me and my two young friends from Croatia and UK, Toby. Please come and join me Friday. It's free. You can't beat that. 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The phone number is below to text me to join, 949-298-2905, 949-298-2905. Thank you, everyone. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds.